Okay, Saturday morning, Universal show. And I mean, as I always say, I always say this show is an element of surprise. Now, in my radio career, I've interviewed a lot of big names, some iconic. But this morning is a very, very, very special interview. When I mean special, it's special. It's actually Black History Month.
Wow.
So we're going to deal with a group that is not only iconic, one of the most influential, groundbreaking, unique. What other word could I use? I'm going to go very forthcoming.
I like that. I like that vocabulary you're using, bro.
That's where I'm going, because interviews like this morning, you can't just take with a pinch of salt. It's got to be handled with care.
Respect.
Now, when I was growing up, and I don't really do introductions on interviews, but I've got to do an introduction today. When I was growing up and I was collecting songs, you know, from your Minnie Ripertons to your Bobby Womack's, to your Dennis Brown, to your Alton Ellis. When I started collecting hip hop and I saw that W sign, I was like, damn. Now we're talking hip hop. I mean, we got them in the building. Who's in the building this morning?
Peace and blessings. My name is the RZA from the Almighty Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, my name is Mathematics.
Wow.
Respect.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning to you.
Nice to have you here, man. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Now, I mean, I know you haven't got long this morning and you're doing, you know, promo, you're on different stations, you've got different appointments and all that, but there are going to be a lot of listeners this morning, and you may have told this story a lot of times, but I just want to get through some key pointers this morning.
Okay, let's get through some
key pointers. Now, a lot of the younger listeners, the older heads, they will know, who follow you religiously like myself. Some of the younger listeners who are catching on to Wu. How did even Wu come about? How did it start? The area you reside from, the whole Wu movement. How did it start?
You know, there's strength in numbers, you know what I mean? And Wu-Tang Clan coming from Staten Island, New York, which we renamed to Shaolin. We were a bunch of young brothers caught up in street life, dealing with crime and running from the police, trying to make money. And me, the Abbot, the RZA, had a vision to take all this negative energy and put it into a positive form. And that positive form was something that we all had in common, and that was hip-hop music. I had a small studio in my project apartment with an SP-1200 and a 4-track recorder, cheap microphone. And when brothers on Friday nights would want to get away from the street life, they'd pop over to my house, bring a few blunts, smoke, watch kung fu movies, and make demos. As time went on, you know, we got a chance to break into the music industry thanks to a man named Mel Kwan. Mel Kwan had a record label called Jamaica Records. He signed the GZA to management, and the GZA told him, I got a little cousin that's a genius as well. You should meet him. He's a scientist, he said, actually. And that was myself.
Right.
And he signed me to management. He got GZA a record deal at Cold Chillin', me a record deal at Tommy Boy. While at Tommy Boy, they thought they could make me more of a pop artist. You know, I was more of a Timberland shoe, fatigue jacket, Carhartt, braided hair, gold teeth guy. And they, hooked me up with a nice tuxedo.
Okay.
And a top hat, and surrounded me by some pretty girls.
Yeah.
Didn't really truly reflect me at that time. And I told them about my crew, Wu-Tang, but they didn't understand. So I did, you know, me, Old Dirty, GZA. You know, the reason why we named our, you know, crew, you know, when I chose the name Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang is actually a martial art from China.
Right.
And it represents the sword style. It has the best sword style out of all martial arts.
Right.
And I took the analogy from the Bible, where it says in Revelations that when the Son of Man come, out of his mouth will be a double-edged sword. And with this sword, he will smite the nations, meaning spread his word. And so I was like, well, since we're lyricists and our tongue is our sword, because I can't see a real sword coming out of nobody's mouth, it must be an analogy of a tongue.
Right.
And what's the best sword style? Wu-Tang. And that became the style of our lyricism.
Wow.
And I put the guys together. You know, a lot of the guys didn't know each other, but they all knew me. You know, so I'm like the common denominator. That's why they coined me the Abbot, because I brought guys together from different projects and different boroughs. Mathematics being from Queens, Juzza, Master Killer, ODB, Brooklyn. Myself born in Brooklyn, but got my bones on Staten Island.
Okay.
Ghostface from Stapleton Projects. Raekwon from Park Hill Projects, who has beef with Stapleton Projects.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
Wow.
Method Man and Inspector Deck, also Park Hill Projects. And we brought this energy together, you know, and at the time you God and Meth was living in what they call New Brighton, another neighborhood. I know you have a Brighton here in London.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, we have New Brighton.
Okay. Okay.
But anyway, all that energy combined together, you know, to make one of the greatest, to me, creative forces in hip hop, and everybody bear witness to my vision. So if I could say anything to any young people out there, that you don't really need a leader, right? But you need leadership. And even when there's leadership, every general should know who is the best knower amongst you.
Right.
There's always one who is the best knower, like the great prophet Noah. He knew something was going to happen, and he told the people. So I knew what was going on. I knew what we could do, and I had a vision that I pitched to my brothers, and my brothers agreed. They agreed to the vision. Whether they saw it or not is another question, but they agreed, and they agreed to join in my company. I formed a company called Wu-Tang Production.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a logo. I went back to a great DJ, a dope graffiti artist, a scientist in the studies of living mathematics, a law of mathematics.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And with you know, with $400, half my rent money, I commissioned him to draw the Wu-Tang logo. And as the story goes, and he could say it himself, one night, right, the final logo took him one night, one blunt, and 140 ounce. And
that logo is synonymous just in hip hop in general. Like, if you're into hip hop, when you see that logo, you just know that's a Wu logo. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just know what I mean? How did you even come up with the concept of the logo in the first place?
The Philly blunt, the chocolate top from 121, and that 40 ounce. You know, yeah, I did graffiti, so it was part of lettering. It was part of the, you know, the ideas that we spoke about.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just happened. It just came. You know, it was meant to be. You know, in all reality, because it's like, you know, like how he said he envisioned things. I didn't envision this far. I had no idea what I was doing that night when I drew that it would be what it is today. You know, yeah, that's kind of crazy right there.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So let's take it back now before we move forward. So the first official Wu-Tang track that you dropped, what was the first official Wu-Tang track that you dropped?
The first one was called Protect Your Neck.
Right, Protect Your Neck. I've got it here. Don't worry. I've got it here. Now, RZA, at the time, so we're talking what, 92, 93, right?
Yeah.
92, 93. So I'm thinking, what was around at the time? So we had maybe Onyx Slam, maybe some Lords of the Underground, Psycho, them kind of tunes around at the time, maybe.
Right.
Okay. How did you come up with the concept, like, based on what's out at the moment, because you had Naughty by Nature as well, who had massive anthems.
Yep.
Yeah. How did you say to yourself, you know what? This is what we're coming with. even with the whole Asian influence,
Right.
the whole Kung Fu influence. How did you know that this one, how did you decide like, this is the one I want to release as a single?
Because, this may sound egotistical, but I felt that I had the best MCs in the world.
Right.
And I felt that the industry at the time had shunned its door to raw talent. And so we made a song, I'm saying, and I named that song, Protect Your Neck. That was like a letter to the industry, a letter to MCs that, look, yeah, you cool, everybody's cool, but now we're bringing hip-hop from the streets. You know what I mean? Not just from the studio, not from college, and not even from guys, no disrespect, but not even from guys who may have a better life. A lot of people don't know, and this hip hop is music for fun. Let's keep that straight. But a lot of our early artists, maybe they had their mother and their father in their life. Maybe they lived in a better home. You know what I mean? It was a very few felons, high school dropouts, and those who were headed to death or jail. And we were those kids. We were those kids with the opportunities was slim to none. And we had a chance because of mathematics and studying our mathematics and having knowledge of ourselves and our love for hip hop and growing up in hip hop, we had a chance to express ourselves. So my goal when we made that song was to tell everybody, protect your neck. Wu-Tang coming at you. That's how I said, Wu-Tang Clan coming at you.
Coming at you.
Protect your neck, kid.
Yeah.
First to set it off.
Yeah.
The Inspector Deck. He came in, I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor. Terrorize the jams like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like the neighborhood Spider-Man. But tick tock and keep ticking.
Yeah.
And this is before you was hearing these kind of ideas or lyricists. It was dope lyricists, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Tretch himself.
Of course.
It's dope.
Yeah.
But this kind of energy and imagery, and Inspector Deck, he's at the time, 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. But his last year before that, he was up in Elmira prison, dealing with hard life. You know what I mean? Not knowing if he was coming back home. U-Guard, same thing, from Rikers Island. ODB, coming out from being locked up in Ohio. Everybody facing, it's serious for us. It's serious. So anyway, that's something that I don't talk about that a lot, but I think that's something to think about, the differentiation.
Yeah.
But I knew that this song, Protect Your Neck, no hook, no nothing, just 8 raw MCs doing what we used to do in the hallways. We used to all bang on the walls and do our music like that and just have fun. Now this sound is going to make it on a piece of vinyl. And you know what? No company would accept it.
That's crazy.
No company. The only company that accepted it was my company.
Yeah.
I had to form my own company to do it.
Wow. If you just logged on this morning and you're wondering who I'm talking to, we're talking to the legends, of course. Wu-Tang are in the building here, breaking it down. So we're moving slightly forward. So you guys must have an endless list of places that you performed around the world. It's just like some of the places you probably can't even remember. But if you can, mathematics, give me probably one of your most favorite and memorable places that you've performed.
One of my most memorable places I performed at, Glastonbury was one.
Glastonbury.
Yeah.
What-
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 14 or 13.
Maybe 2013 or 2011, bro.
It was 11? It was before Iron Fist? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember we did that. That was nice.
So that must have been well over 200,000 easy, right?
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, but one that really I remember because it was the last time we all rocked together. And that was the first Rock the Bells. We did it in San Bernardino.
ODB was there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was the last time that you seen Wu-Tang, including ODB, was in San Bernardino, California, at a festival called Rock the Bells. And it was such a trip to even get all of us there. The promoter, he almost had to trick everybody. I'm serious. You know what I mean? And it worked. Right? It's so funny. Then everybody's there, but ODB still refused to leave the hotel.
Do you know that's the craziest thing that you brought up? Because there's always been this thing, like especially when Wu-Tang come over to the country. When are we ever gonna get all of them on the stage together? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I've seen you guys all together. I don't think I have.
That's crazy.
And that's crazy.
Well, the cool thing now, though,
Yeah.
as we say, Wu-Tang, the saga continues. We are definitely in the process now of getting every member to sign on for I don't want to say a final. You hate to use that word, but definitely for a world tour where every member clear their schedule, collectively clear the schedule, and take a trip around the world and give back the love that's been given to us. So we really striving to do that. There's a company called agency called CAA that's helping us do that and
put something together right now.
It's gonna be positive.
Okay. So individually, your most favorite Wu-Tang track?
Track or album?
Track or album.
Wow, that's hard. It's like
that this you're like, you know what? This is my baby. This means a lot. This one. I mean, obviously they're all your babies, but you've got one that's just like the process, what you went through making that particular track or album. The time, what you was doing around that time. Which one of those mean a lot to you?
I'll let you go first.
Man, I've got to think. I mean, look, it's going to change, but I'm just going to say, I'm going to say Triumph, right? And the reason why I'm going to say Triumph is because it was actually the culmination of this 5-year plan that I told you about.
Right.
It was the moment where we had went through the process of watching some of our heroes and some of our peers pass away already, with Tupac and Big. It was the moment where we actually left home, New York, and went to California and got 9 apartments.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And locked down the studio, American studio, and we took over every room in that studio, and we just showed up there day after day and was working. And when that song was finally complete, every MC, it was like a rendition of Protect Your Neck to me. Like, let's just do it again. The same thing that started us in the beginning, let's do it again. 8 MCs, get on the mic and say what you feel. And I think it worked, and I think it was our triumph. It went on to become the first $1 million video for hip-hop.
Wow.
Directed by...
That I didn't know.
Yeah, it was the first one. Directed by Brett Ratner.
That's crazy.
It led on to Brett being inspired as well by hip-hop and the Asian culture mixed with hip-hop. And as he told me, it led on to him coming with the idea to bring out the Rush Hour movies. It led to the idea of hip-hop vocabulary not being limited. When you hear Inspector Deck, Bomb Atomically, Socrates, Philosophies, and Hypotheses, it was the first time. It was one of the first times a #1 album existed without a pop radio single as well.
That's crazy.
And so that song Triumph, I'm gonna say as of now. You may ask me next year, I may have a
and it
different
might
one.
change.
But right
yeah,
now,
by
I'm
all
gonna say
means, by all
Triumph
means,
is my favorite Wu-Tang Clan song.
Mathematics.
Okay, so we going favorite Wu-Tang Clan song that I've done. I'm gonna go on Wu-Tang The Saga Continues album. But it's kind of a toss up, cause like people say that one is kind of special to me too, because it's actually that right there is like really my introduction to a whole new generation. And as far as even video wise, like me being in a video, like as the star of a video, so that one right there. But then Lesson Learned is like, to me, one of my best renditions of a song sounding like a sample, but not a sample. And that really just has that that screw face, like when you hear that woo, like
you just want to go mash up somebody's house or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to rob somebody. You know what I mean? Stuff.
It's like that first, as soon as it come on, just that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gritty. Yeah. I'm feeling it. Okay, so listen, we're moving up. There's so many things I want to talk about this morning. So it being Black History Month. How important is Black history to you guys?
Oh, it's Black History Month out here?
Right here, right now. Yeah.
I mean, Black history is world history. And that's the part I think we gotta understand and gotta promote. You know, they separate Black history as if it's small, as if it's 300, 400, 500 years old. But Black history is thousands, millions. If you want to talk the RZA, I'll go trillions. I think there's no beginning nor ending that you can find a place where the Black man has physically been present and made a mark in history. This is why we see our pyramids standing. This is why if you keep digging under the ground, you'll find another civilization over in Africa that we been built, destroyed, and built again. You know, we have a song that Wu-Tang made called I Can't Go to Sleep with me and Ghostface and Kappa Donna. Original. Is Kappa on the last version of it? No, he was on the original version. But anyway, and in that song, we talk about some great heroes in American Black history, such as Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X. We talk about Martin Luther King, you know what I mean? And we also talk about the Kennedy family, you know, who during their presidency took a look and tried to put some positive energy to the Black community and to the underprivileged communities of America. So, you know, Black history is always important, but I want the young people out there who's listening to your show to be very conscious that Black history is world history. It's not limited to no time period.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. And the funny thing is, you know, like obviously nowadays, if you want to put that into like, you know, keeping up to speed, you know, there's such negative connotations around hip hop nowadays because of what we're being exposed to. I know that's something that you guys are probably witnessing coming from back in the days. You're seeing it now, how hip hop has changed. They're saying like, you know, the standards have dropped. How do you feel about that yourself?
But it's not, I mean, music is music, and every generation is going to have their expression of it. And so it ain't that the standards have dropped. It's just that the inspiration of what they're drawing from may be much more different than what we had to draw upon.
Yeah.
So we drew upon, you know, oppression, aggression, and, you know, just poverty and things of that nature. Now, I think some of the youth, they have better chances in life. I mean, even having a cell phone in your hand, we probably just wanted to have Nintendo and
most definitely
and couldn't get it.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I mean? So the ability of what they have in their hands and the information they are exposed to is probably part of what's keeping them at a certain level of expression. But I'm enjoying hip hop now, but I always would promote the idea that it needs balance and substance.
That's what I'm talking about.
So for every artist out there, have fun, do what you're doing. You know, if you want to be someone who wants to make the crowd dance, you do that. But in the old hip hop generations, we had a song to make you dance. We had a song to make you think. We had a song that tapped upon some political ideas. We had a song that was tapping upon just getting drunk and falling out. So if you keep the substance and you keep the balance, it'll continue to grow. I'm thankful for artists, as far as in America, I would say like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole's, Joey Badass, and the ASAP Mob, who are on the younger side of things, continuing to push it. We also thankful to artists from Toronto like Drake, who was able to make pop records with hip hop, but yet still able to insert some witty lines into it. You know what I mean? And for those who keep my party popping, I'm not going to act like I don't go to a club and they don't drop Migos or Future, that I don't get up and pour my drink and start shaking my body too, you know?
And with that in mind, people say. Of course. I mean, we've had it on rotation from Stucky, sent it to us, and it's refreshing.
Thank you, bro.
Very refreshing. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like, we have to talk about that tune
let's talk
quickly
about
before
that.
let's talk about it quickly before you
okay.
get out the door this morning. You got to talk about People Say, because we need to play that this morning.
I'll pass it to Math, but I just want to say one thing about it. I love the lyricism of it. I love the beat. And people may say this, people may say that, but people can never say Wu-Tang is whack. Talk to me, Math.
Jeez, he's going in this morning.
Yeah, People Say. Ooh, that's a good one. It's that feeling, you know. It's like that one right there. It's like when I listen to that, and how the MCs was just coming on there and like one behind the other. I was like, oh yeah, this is it right here. This
You
that.
think, Matt, like in the club, if you used to play that after some of the communities on the radio station, the Hot 97,
Yeah.
and they had just played Percocet.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And they played People Say After It, and it actually rolls the adrenaline.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It did. Yeah. It did.
It brings back that feeling and sentiments from back in the days, right? Yeah.
You start like, yo,
Hold on.
you know what? When people say come on, you're gonna need elbow room. You know what I mean? You're gonna need elbow room. You know what I mean? So man, yo, enjoy the Wu-Tang. The saga continues. Some great music on that album. Mathematics did a great job producing them. So proud of him, you know, as his brother, but also as they call the Abbot, and watching him being able to take this ship and drive it through those narrow caverns, which he did.
Yeah.
It's like he went through the Death Star and just shot and blew up the Death Star with this one. You know what I mean?
Max, you really want them to protect their neck, right?
So man, that we got to go, don't we?
Yeah, they said you got to leave this morning. You got to leave. Listen, we're getting into it. So many things I wanted to talk about by the time. No, man, it's a blessing, bro. It's a blessing.
Well, the good news, Special K, is that we're going to come back. We'll be back. Mathematics, he's already working on new music already. The label 36 Chambers ALC, which is a lifestyle company.
Right.
We're promoting consciousness. We're promoting healthy eating, healthy music, healthy living. And he has some new music also that'll be probably ready for his top of the year. You know what I mean? And he'll come back and we'll come back and we'll talk again.
Yeah, man. Seriously. So listen, any last things you want to say before you get out the door this morning? It's been a blessing talking to you guys, man.
The saga continues.
There you go. You want to what should we kick off with this morning? What should we go with? Should we go old school and bring it forward, or start new?
Let's go with lesson learned.
Lesson learned first.
Let's go with
and then we'll take it back in a hot minute, right?
Bong bong.
Okay, RZA, Mathematics in the building right here. New Life Radio. Let's go.